Beautiful Endings, an in-depth guide to dumping women. In a previous article, I gave you a superior form of holding frame, being the architect of the relationship's narrative. This article is an expansion pack for those of you who have come far enough to where you need to end a relationship. Maybe it's because you want to LTR one woman at the expense of all the others in your rotation, or because you want to end an LTR to start life anew where you are hotter, younger, and less ideologically compromised women. There's not a lot of material on breaking things off, which makes sense given that most men struggle getting laid in the first place. But for moderately successful men, the art of creating beautiful endings is a key skill that will set you apart from mere man whores. Those of you who only use 5% of your girlfriends might find this difficult to wrap your head around, but women are useful far beyond their sexual function. If women are useful beyond their sexual function, then it makes sense not to burn bridges when you end your sexual relationship with them. Of course, all this is assuming you get into relationships with women who have more to offer than a moist hole. When your narrative is strong enough to last beyond the relationship, then you leave possibilities open for the future. This can mean either getting back together with her at some point, her adding to your social proof by putting in a good word for you, or access to any skills or social connections she might develop in the future. High-value men aren't high value because of some high-value substance inside of them. They're of high value because of their social connections. If you only break even after a breakup, then you aren't a high-value man. If a breakup is a loss to you, then you are a low-value man. Retroactivity. Every woman is a great screenwriter as far as the movie that exists in their head is concerned. The idea isn't to maintain constant contact with her to continue reinforcing the shared narrative, but to end the relationship in such a way that she continues to reproduce the narrative on her own. The key to doing this is the beautiful ending, because how you break up will determine what the relationship was all along. If you burn bridges through a scummy breakup, then that negates all of the positives of the relationship. In her eyes, you were and always will be a scumbag. It's the equivalent of your woman cheating on you. You realize she was never your woman, and there's nothing you want to do with her anymore. A bad breakup destroys the shared narrative you've built up during the course of your relationship with her. The past is always rewritten in the future. Every time your ex thinks back on the relationship she had with you, she's rewriting the meaning of that relationship. If you pull off a beautiful breakup, then she will keep reinforcing a positive narrative that makes you out to be respectable. If ever you call upon her for a favor, she would be happy to oblige. If you ever want to get back with her, even temporarily, she would still be a viable option. If your ex shares social circles with you, then she'll add to your social proof by speaking positively of you when you are the topic of conversation. 3 basics of a beautiful ending. If you need a step-by-step action plan for this, you're too autistic to pull this off. What I will provide are 3 basic principles of creating a beautiful ending. You must initiate the breakup. If you do not initiate the breakup, then either she is initiating the breakup, or the relationship just dies slowly on its own. In either case, you've seeded the shared narrative you created with your woman. As a result, either she will rewrite what the narrative was all along, or a third party will. Maintaining power of any kind is not a passive activity. That goes for social power as well. Create a strong, positive last memory. The way you end the relationship should leave her with a sense of importance. The important point is that by doing this, a sense of importance will be derived from you. You don't want to have a boring, solemn talk. Beta males try to remove emotionality from everything because they can't handle intensity. Instead, you want to infuse the event with positivity. She will still most likely be upset, but it will be bittersweet instead of just bitter. Do not provide closure. Even though we are calling it a breakup, you don't want to tie up loose ends. Providing closure would also negate the shared narrative and allow it to be rewritten either by her or a third party. Shut the door with an affirmative decision that inspires respect, while leaving her feeling your experience together is unfinished. The restart of that unfinished will be directly in your control. The decision might be final for you, but others need not perceive it that way. A word of warning. There are no warranties in life. Do not feel some kind of way about keeping your options open, like some hard case brown beta. The broader application. Those of you who are only red-pilled in the narrow domain of gender dynamics are still blue-pill. The concept of retroactivity has a broader application in all social domains of life. You don't only create narratives in sexual relationships, but in all personal and professional relationships that you have. Understanding and overcoming beta male psychological structure is the fastest way to level up your life. There's only so much that I can simplify for a Substack post. Our book teaches psychoanalytic theory in detail. Grab your copy when you're done scrounging through Substack posts and are ready for the real thing.